Horns up and welcome to Headbanger's Kitchen. Today we've got a fantastic show for you. All the way from Italy we've got Fleshgod Apocalypse! And we're going to be cooking up a Fleshgod Tangdi for them. And what is that, you ask me? Well, that's a delicious Malai Tangdi kebab with cheese and cream, and it's delicious. Let's go make that Malai Tangdi now. So we're going to start making our tangdis by scoring the chicken, and you make 2 cuts on the thigh in front, 1 at the back of the thigh, and then on the drumstick, 2 in the front, 1 at the back. Now I like to cut it right down the middle of the thigh and the leg. It just helps it cook faster. Not completely, just a little bit on both sides, and here where you can see the joint between the leg and the thigh. And you can see I'm using skinless chicken legs, and I'm using the entire leg, drumstick and thigh. And this allows the marination to really penetrate the chicken and you get a delicious flavor. Now one thing you want to do is also cut this leg tendon over here. As you can see, just make sure you cut that as well. That allows for the chicken to cook better. Now when you're working with raw chicken, just make sure you wash your hands, because that's what you're supposed to do, wash your hands. So when you're making a tangdi kebab, there are 2 stages of marination. So for the first stage of the marination, we're just going to use some salt, some white pepper, and if you have white pepper powder instead, make sure that you use that. You can also use black pepper if you like. Then we add the juice of half a lime, a small spoon of ginger garlic paste. I'm also adding in 1 small chopped green chili, which I have de-seeded because I don't like spicy food. But if you like it spicier, make sure you use as much chili as you like. Now because this is a chicken that's white in color, we're not going to add any chili powder or anything, because we want it to sort of be white, you know. The next thing you got to do is get down and dirty and rub the marinade all over the chicken. Make sure you get that marination into all the cuts that you have made. Every little bit should be marinated. And that's it. Your first marination is done. And we're going to put this in the fridge for about 15 to 20 minutes to marinate. So while our chicken is sitting in our first marination, we're going to make the second marinade now. We're going to start by using some cheese. So this is just your standard Indian processed cheese, like, you know, Britannia or Amul or Vijaya or Go cheese, whichever one you like. Okay, so what we're going to do first is kind of mash the cheese up a bit, almost to sort of make it a paste, because you want your marinade to be quite smooth actually. And make sure your cheese is at room temperature. This will make it easier to mash. Now to this I'm going to add a little bit of corn flour. This is just to bind everything together. You can skip this if you like, but this will just sort of keep all the marination together. Then I'm going to add in a spoon of cream. This is just your standard, you know, regular cream, not heavy cream or whipping cream. You're going to mix this in also nicely. Next we're going to add some hung curd. This is basically just yogurt that's been left to sort of hang in a cloth. Just mash all this together nicely. So you have a nice creamy marinade. So now that these have all been mixed in well together, it's time to season the marinade. So we're going to put a little bit of salt. Next we're going to add some white pepper, a little bit of ginger garlic paste, a little elaichi and mace powder, which is basically the green cardamom and mace flour that have been sort of pounded into a fine powder. And then I'm going to grate in some fresh nutmeg. And then I'm going to add some chaat masala. And the final ingredient, a sprinkling of fresh coriander. And make sure this is really, really finely chopped. Now we're going to mix all this together. And there, our second marination is ready. So our chicken has been in the first marination for about 15 minutes now, and it's time to add the second marinade. So just get that marination in there. Just make sure you coat all parts of the chicken. And I could use my hands, but I'm just being lazy because it gets quite messy. But make sure you get the marination into every little nook and cranny of the chicken. So now that the chicken has been coated in the second marination, we're going to let it marinate for a little longer, at least for 1 hour before you cook it. If you can leave it overnight, nothing like it, but at least for an hour. That's the minimum requirement, I think. So our chicken has been marinating for over an hour now, and it's time to put it in our oven. Now make sure you turn your oven up to the highest temperature possible, because the temperature for tandoor is scorching hot. So I'm going to just put the tangdis in my baking tray, and if you have a rack, nothing like it, because that keeps the chicken off the tray. But if you're like me and you don't, you can just place it on the tray itself. And I'm using foil because it's just easier to clean up after that. And whatever leftover marinade is there, you can just rub that on the chicken. You can also reuse this marination. That's the beauty of it. So if you have some meat lying around, some prawns, anything, just marinate in this and use it again. So now we're going to put this in our oven, and my oven goes to about 250 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 25 minutes, because we want it to get nice and charred. So our Fleshgod Tangdi is now ready, and it smells and looks delicious. We're just going to wait for Fleshgod Apocalypse to come and taste this. Hey and welcome back to Headbanger's Kitchen. My guests today are from one of the most well-known bands from Italy. They have their own wine, their own pasta, and they are one of the most brutal bands I have ever seen live. I have with me Francesco and Francesco from Fleshgod Apocalypse.
Hey
guys.
Hey. Hi.
How are you guys doing? How does it feel to be in India finally?
Yeah, awesome.
Very good. And you know, it's the first time for us here, so we didn't know exactly what to expect, but all the premises are good.
So far so good.
Yeah, so far so good.
Awesome. And did you ever expect that you would be playing in a country like India when you started playing music?
Definitely not.
No,
but
I wouldn't say so.
There is a big scene here, like down in Asia in general, like India, Indonesia. There's a really huge scene, really huge festivals, and it looks like that it's a scene that is really developing fast right now. So we see a lot of bands that are coming down here much more often than before. So this time it's our time.
Yeah. So
but I think it will be like the first time of many times we're going to come here.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Okay, I got to ask before I go any further. Francesco and Francesco.
Yeah.
Are you known by any other names, or does when someone in the band say, "Hey, Francesco," do both of you look?
No.
We have nicknames.
Yeah, of course. My nickname is Frappa. It's like a typical sweet from our country.
From our region.
And his nickname is Ferro. Means iron.
Means iron, but also it's like a shortened version of my surname.
Okay,
yeah.
So his surname.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's it.
So let's talk a little bit about your music.
Yeah.
You guys have 3 albums out. I would say with Agony is when you really came to the forefront of the metal scene. I mean, even I discovered you guys through that album. Mm-hmm. And there was a very huge change in your sound. I mean, it was Fleshgod, but it was suddenly the whole orchestra. And
that's my fault.
Yeah. So how did that happen? Was it like a conscious decision, to sort of...
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like when we started like a death metal band with some kind of classical influences or stuff like that. We had some progressive tech death metal, bands that influenced our sound at the beginning, and that's why we started with songs that were really fast, but at the same time really melodic, and with a lot of changes in between the song. So that was mainly, the basic songwriting, but we always wanted to do something more, we always wanted to add something. At the beginning we just started like a 4-piece, and it was just playing in the albums, so it was helping us with the intros, outros, some part in between the songs, or playing the title track. Yeah.
Was it like a trademark to have a title track, piano track?
After a while we always, checked a lot of opinions here and there in the internet. Why don't you try to do something like with the orchestra on the songs, during the songs? And I was like, okay, let's try. And Agony is the first result of that, and Labyrinth is way more complicated, so it means that, you know, we're doing some kind of definitely step forward technically and for composition wise, you know, for what concerns the orchestra. But yes, it was in the plans.
Alright.
It was unexpected that he joined the band, actually. But it was in the plans.
And why is it unexpected that he joined the band?
I don't
Because
know.
it was, no, actually it was felt more like a collaboration at first, but I wasn't joining the lineup at first. Just you know, mutual collaboration. Okay, we do something more orchestral, more symphonic on the songs, with orchestral arrangement all over the place. But then, you know, we realized that to have a closer and more fruitful collaboration, it was better to have me, yeah, as a permanent member, and to go beyond that. You know what I mean? To have me more involved in the process.
And on Labyrinth, you also had a female vocalist join in on a couple of tracks. So is that something you think that you might end up taking forward, and you might have a full-time member?
It's weird with that because you know, she's doing like backing vocals for now, and she started like doing some guest here and there. And yes, of course, his contribution is always more during the album. And in Labyrinth, she sang like almost the whole song, epilogue, for example.
Yeah.
And we have plans of you know, having her singing a whole song in the new album. But still, we try to, you know, even if we look like even if we always try to do step forwards, you know, we still try to keep, you know, the main roots of our sounds. So, for example, drumming, for example, the growling, the clean vocals, Paolo's clean vocals, and whatever. So, right now, maybe she doesn't have enough room, you know, to express.
We still need some balance.
You know?
Yeah.
You know.
So for now, we don't even have enough things to, you know, for her, you know, to play. So it's just something. I think we are gradually increasing our presence in the band, and but you know, looks a good collaboration so far. You know, the song Epilogue had like a really big hype and also a really positive feedback from at least from the web, and like outstanding feedback live.
Yeah, and so having her singing with Tommaso live increases the sense of, you know, of something more theatrical live.
Yeah.
So and simply having her on the background singing, you know, the background vocals or doing some choruses here and there, it really helps to give a different image of a band. So it's cool to see.
She's really good.
Yeah, she's really good. She's amazing.
I've also noticed that it's been 2 years between each album that you guys put out, 2009, 2011, 2013. So will we see an album this year from Fleshgod?
Not this year, but really early next year. We didn't, you know, say anything about it because we just, you know, having the first approaches to the writing sessions, and things are, what we have so far is really cool, but we don't want to push ourselves too much and make things in a rush, you know.
Yeah.
Before we you know, so far we always try to make it, you know, as fast as possible, because we needed to spread, you know, music and the band name all over the world as fast as possible. So we try to, I'm not saying that we did the things in a hurry, but we definitely didn't lose time, okay? This time we just take our time for, you know, choose songs and decide what kind of direction the album should have. It's definitely a slower process.
And what's the general songwriting process like with you guys? You know, do you guys go to the studio and jam on ideas, or do you write your own song?
We have
Usually not.
no.
We
It's too expensive. We have some kind of studio rehearsal place where we can meet and write stuff. And we go there and write the stuff. Some stuff we start from Francesco's ideas. Some stuff is start with my ideas. With
The process is more nerdy. On the approach.
We try until we find something that is cool.
Yeah, we change notes
like
here and there. No, this is not sounding good, and then
it's a long process. It's not like okay, I have some riffs, let's do a song. It's much more. It's way more complicated.
Yeah, we try to be to create something organic with every part of with every instrument. It's not like okay, I have a cool riff. Let's put some samples or piano over it, some symphonics. It's just much more organic. You have
sometimes we cancel the week.
We throw away stuff, very cool stuff. Because we were not
just
satisfied.
because
it doesn't.
Not everything
well.
fits perfectly with the song. So maybe you have a really cool riff or a really cool like harmonic progression, but
it doesn't work.
Doesn't work with the song. So we just
sometimes you have a really nice orchestral arrangement or whatever, but it doesn't work well on the song or with the guitar, and you have to change all the guitar parts, or you just throw the whole thing. So we have like a folder, a big folder of rejected ideas. Yeah.
Awesome. You have been playing guitar, doing vocals and drums.
Yeah.
How many years have you been playing the drums? Because
I started playing drums in 2009 when we of course.
So how did you get so good so fast?
Well, thanks, but just practicing and concentrating on one subject, just focusing on the same thing. I'm not a good drummer. I'm a drummer of Fleshgod. You know what I mean? So it's not like that I explored everything, the drum, panorama. Definitely not. I just play. I'm just now that I can handle the Fleshgod song. I'm just starting to learn something different, But it was more a necessity to find a drummer. So I was like, okay, I do it, and I focused on that. I sucked for 3-4 years. And now, I still suck, but but we have a good sound engineer, so nobody knows.
So, one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and I asked this to most of the musicians I interview. You guys are a pretty big band right now, at least to people like us.
Are we?
Well, we see you on tour all the time, playing the biggest metal festivals, But how easy or hard is it to actually be a full-time musician? And are you guys full-time musicians now?
Yes, so right now, yes.
But
it's been
not
really
easy.
hard, and it took several years to do it, and still it's really hard to survive. It's maybe the year you play a lot of festivals or a lot of shows, going around with touring all around, promoting the album. You can make some money to survive, but the year you write, you have to figure out how to do. So everybody in the band is doing also other things that are luckily related to music.
Yeah, more or less, yes.
So for example, I do clinics, or Paolo is managing some bands, or he's doing lessons and making collaborations. Same thing for the other guys. So it's but our expectation is to become a real full-time band. Even if I like to teach or to do classes, but I don't want to do it being forced by financial needs. Just do it because I want to do it.
Yeah, our target is to earn basically from the band and then do what we like as a side projects or lessons.
You're telling to people like shameful things that we make money. Because a lot of people thinks that musicians live off love and
and drugs.
So actually no. Actually, it works like you have to deliver a show, and the show that you deliver or the album that you write is some kind of product that is artistic.
Yeah.
But it's still a product, and you live of it. So I always suggest people to support the bands, and I tell them that for sure nobody has like golden swimming pools or Lamborghinis in the garage.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah, despite some people thoughts about that. Okay, we were about us being with Nuclear Blast.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that.
We are
Yeah.
swimming
Nuclear
in.
Blast is a awesome label. They take the album, the music you do, and they distribute. They have the biggest distribution, and you are everywhere, and everybody can buy your music. And even if they don't buy the music, they have like big channels, like YouTube channel, and with a lot of subscribers. So your exposition, exposure. Sorry, your exposure is really big, really wide, everywhere. So far we played like countries, and we never expected to play. Like we played Indonesia, we played South Africa,
Like India.
We played India now. We played like Costa Rica. We played in a lot of different places that are not Europe or US. That are the biggest markets now. So it means that Nuclear Blast is helping us to spread the name of the band, spread the music, but there's no like
even if you have a
treasure.
Even if you have a big hype, that doesn't mean you don't have to struggle, and you don't have to work hard even just to survive on a basic level like we are doing now. So it's
we play China, awesome, and we're going to play like awesome places. Like we're going to play Hong Kong this year, and Taiwan.
We covered every possible continent this year.
The only
except
places
South America.
Yeah, South America. We've never been there so far. We just played Mexico. It's Central America. Don't tell them it's South America. They go crazy. But actually, we never been there because we always had like
conflicting schedules.
With so we never had a proper time to. But after India, maybe.
Maybe. All right, so let's talk a little bit about food, because we are on a food show,
Okay.
and you
I'm
guys
looking forward to that.
Yes, and you guys are from Italy,
Of course.
Okay.
where some of the best food comes from.
Okay.
So, what do you guys like to eat? What is your favorite food?
Wow. Like,
So many, so
it's
many
really
different.
it's a huge
List.
it's there is a super big list of but what I can say is that there are some food that are exported, okay, like pizza or like pasta, and what I can say is that what I really like is to eat these kind of things in my country, because it's so different from what is exported everywhere. Like even if you buy a mozzarella in US, this is totally different, So, but we have a lot of things, that's why I love my mother so much.
Well, if you could suppose you had only one dish to eat, it's your last meal on earth, what would you eat?
Wow. Maybe carbonara.
Carbonara.
It's pasta al dente.
I was thinking the same thing.
Made with egg and
bacon.
Bacon.
I make carbonara.
No, you make
Really?
carbonara. Yes. So and some people use like sheep cheese, okay,
Huh?
pecorino.
Okay.
Pecorino.
Pecorino.
It's
And
like
eggs.
it's a cheese made
There are
with
different ways
sheep milk.
to cook the egg. Some people just use the
The heat from the pasta.
Yeah, we we just use
the whip,
red.
the whip,
Oh, the whip.
the egg. Some other people just put the pasta on the frying pan and then put the egg on the last minute on the pasta and the bacon, and everything is mixed. But you know, there are different opinions about that. But
Also pizza with bufala, that is
pizza with bufala.
Is mozzarella made with milk of the
buffalo mozzarella.
We get all that here now. Imported from Italy. Yeah?
Okay, very good.
Yeah, from Italy. Yeah, we
Is
love
it good?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah. Do you guys cook at home?
Yeah, I have a video where I cook. You know,
Sometimes.
Like we cook. We cook, of course.
And what's your specialty dish? Like if I came to your house for dinner, what would you feed me?
Pasta alla carbonara.
Pasta carbonara.
No,
For me.
I can do something like meat dishes. Really very good meat dishes with. We have a lot of vegetables and
very good.
We do.
They taste good even
and,
with just a little bit of oil and.
But actually, everything is light. You know, it's not really heavy.
I mean, it depends.
Depends.
Sometimes.
Depends. Yeah. But
If you go to Sicily, you will tell.
All right, I will on my next.
But it looks
Heavy, but it's not so
looks
heavy.
heavy. No,
So not
maybe
so.
the opposite.
Okay. It looks
light, but actually in
but
the
you
end
can't
it's
stop eating. That's the point. But for instance, a really kind of pizza I really like is it's called it in different ways, but the Naples style pizza, so very very thick, thick and tender, and cooked in wood oven with buffalo mozzarella, little tomatoes, and some basil. That's it.
I'm getting hungry now.
That's it. Very simple.
Okay, so speaking of food, you guys also have a Fleshgod Apocalypse wine and a Fleshgod Apocalypse pasta.
Yeah.
How did that idea come about, And
We just wanted to export some typical, we've seen Finnish bands doing beers, like Iron Maiden doing beers, or a lot of bands, promoting products that are from their country. So it's like, why not, It's still a merchandise item, so you can have it or you cannot, hit it, just to have something different, But like this, If I write Fleshgod Apocalypse on top of it, it's Fleshgod Apocalypse skull immediately. So it's like, why don't we export something that is completely different, that in some way breaks the rules? And at the beginning, we had a big controversial about it, because a lot of people take music too seriously. So we just
without buying CDs.
Yeah, without buying the CDs. That's why I did the video. Everybody is complaining because all the bands are
trying to
playing
survive.
a lot, or are trying to sell all the items possible, like merchandise wise, and at the same time they don't buy your music. So what do they expect, that we live of oxygen and love, as I told you,
and inspiration.
And also, it's a very shitty mechanism, because sometimes if you don't have your financial resources to produce your music, so to go on with your artistic side, and you need
videos,
for example, and you need to sell merchandise, you need to sell merchandise nowadays to survive, to collect money, to be completely honest in what you do. And sometimes, it happens that some bands, or not only bands, but all the artists, they try to do something that is more commercial or more catchy, they are forced to, because they need to, pay the bill at the end. So it's, and the music becomes dishonest, and so sometimes I really prefer to sell pasta and to sell wine, and having some fucking nerds pissing me off with some like it's a shitty idea, but still playing what I want to play, write what I want to write, without compromise, then compromise my music and sell the fucking t-shirts. There's no just because you don't eat a t-shirt, but it's still satisfying one of your primary needs. To cover yourself. So it
has the same relationship with the music. So if I sell my cup, it's to some people it looks more serious than pasta or wine, but it's still not strictly related to the music.
It's nothing really.
At least pasta is typical. We are Italians, and wine, and both things are produced in our area.
So
the pasta is handmade.
Shit, it's also stuff. It's expensive. We know, but at the same time, it's not shit. But it's expensive because we pay it a lot. We pay it a lot because it has a real value. Even in wine, you can find a real heart. The same thing in the pasta. There is a big tradition, a big, conception of these kind of things. Looks stupid, but we can say that there's some kind of food is some kind of religion in Italy.
It is.
Just like soccer, like football.
So what can we look forward to this year from Fleshgod Apocalypse? Are you guys going to be taking a break or more touring, more writing? What's on the cards?
More writing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're not exactly taking a break from shows and tours because you still have you always have to stay active on that side, and there are still many places we haven't played it in, like India. So
but we just make like one show here, one show there. Nothing is that is a real tour. I think the only tour that we do is the Asian one. It is
Japan,
like 4 gigs.
it's just 4 gigs.
Because we have to take time to write the songs and record the songs properly. So.
So that and a new album 2016 then.
Yes, you can expect it.
So
spoiler alert.
We swear.
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Go ahead. You want to say
now the viewer discretion is advised.
Awesome. So thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Thanks to you, man.
I hope you are ready now to taste the Fleshgod Tangdi.
Okay.
Tangdi. Tangdi. It's basically a chicken leg.
Okay.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go get that Fleshgod Tangdi. Okay guys, so here is the Fleshgod Tangdi, which is a delicious Malai kebab kind of thing. So please dig in.
All right.
Smells really good.
Looks great.
Wow.
Awesome.
Very good.
It's fantastic. That is
a very rich flavor. You can tell that. Very good.
Awesome.
Awesome. So Francesco and Francesco have given the Fleshgod Tangdi the thumbs up. And we'll see you on the next episode of Headbanger's Kitchen.
Goodbye.
See you.
Okay.